How we doing? It's CCA Nick. Follow me on Instagram at NickVenti. If you enjoy this content, please give me a thumbs up. Don't treat me like a 204B over here. So, I'm actually off today. Beautiful day outside. It's not too hot. I'm on my way to the woods. Me and my buddy Tom and a few other friends. We get a workout in nature, and it's much needed meditation. I wanted to make a video about. I made a video before, but I wanted to redo it. I want to talk about what do I do in a typical day as a mail carrier, as a CCA. And one thing too, you guys can't film on the clock. Do not film on the clock. There's a guy on YouTube. I told him, I'm like, you can't film. He was putting mail, and he was filming himself putting mail in the mailbox. I'm like, bro, you can get in trouble for that. And he still kept the video up. So I guess a little more views is worth risking losing your job. But anyway, don't do that. Don't be that guy. Or else I would film on the clock, but you can't do that. So I clock in, swipe in at 8 o'clock. I usually there a little before 8 because I like to eat my muffin and stuff. See what the damage is at my case. See, like let's say I come in tomorrow. I see what the damage is. The person who did my route, see what mail they brought back, or how bad it is. Assess the situation. Then when you clock in, I clock in 8 o'clock. Every office is different. Some clock in at 7, some 9. It just depends. My office, we clock in at 8 with all the other regulars. Then we do our vehicle check. I grab my vehicle key, check to see if our vehicles are working. See, any flat tires, if our hazards are working, blinkers, brake lights, all that good stuff. Make sure all that is all good. Then when I do my vehicle check, I come back in. I see if there's FSS, which is the yellow tubs. It's our flats that are in order. All that stuff is in order. It's the easiest thing to case because it's in order, and I always case in my flats first before I case in my letters. It's just a lot easier to case in the big stuff and then put the small stuff around the big stuff. It just makes it easier. I check the A-frame with some of our letters. I check the tubs when they're throwing in flats in our tubs. I check the hot case, make sure get all my mail from there. I start casing up my route. Also too, before I check my vehicle, I peek at my gurney. I eyeball my gurney, and I'm like, is today gonna be a good day with packages, or is my gurney overflowing and they're not even close to being done? So a lot of early in the morning is assessing to see how bad the situation is as far as packages and mail goes. Usually on a Monday, you're screwed. On a Monday, the volume is gonna be heavy. But then you case in your mail. My case, a lot of the carriers, we have 43 routes, so a lot of carriers, we like to talk, make jokes. A lot of the carriers at my office are pretty nice for the most part. Just joke, have a good time for the first hour and a half, casing in our routes. When I'm done casing in all my mail, when that's all good, I get my accountables, I get my arrow key, my certifieds, I get all that stuff. I case in my certifieds, put my arrow key around my belt, or if I'm not wearing my belt, around my loop in my pants. Then when everything's cased in, I got all my accountables and stuff, then I load up my truck. This is what I do. A lot of the carriers, they pull down before they load their truck, but I like to load my packages first. I don't recommend doing this if you're slower on your times. I load my packages first, then whatever small stuff, chunky spurs, and then stuff that could fit in my case, I can case in. I'll usually case in all the small packages that I could fit in my case. It's just less stuff you got to worry about. It's already in order. But yeah, I'll case in my the small stuff that could fit in my case. I load up my packages. Then I come back and pull down the mail. Load up my mail. If I have a third bundle, I'll organize that. Put it in my truck. Organize my truck. I put my DPS. I get my DPS. Then my case mail that I get from my case. And then a third bundle or fourth bundle if need be. I'll organize that, like ad papers. I'll put that all in order. Or a lot of runs don't have addresses, so that's what makes it easier on those. I'll load that stuff up. Then once my truck is loaded, I kind of do a sweep to make sure, like, if they're done throwing mail, especially now it's political season, I make sure I'm like, okay, are they throwing any more political mail? Because that's super important. I grab whatever's left. I do another sweep. I go to the bathroom. This is another important thing you'll learn if you're new. Make sure you go to the bathroom when you can. I always take a pre-route piss before I hit the street. I always go to the bathroom before I hit the street, because you never know when you're gonna have to go again. So I make sure I go before I officially hit the street. Then when I hit the street, I do my route, and depending on if they have us come back for packages or not, I carry my route, which usually takes me until I don't take a lunch. I sign the no lunch policy. I do sign that first thing in the morning. I do sign that like as soon as I walk in the building, I sign the no lunch policy. So they don't take 30 minutes of pay from me because I don't sit down for 30 minutes for a lunch. I do take my 2 10-minute breaks, which are given to you. So I take those, and that's all I really need. I don't need a 30-minute break to just sit and get lazy. I finish my route around 3:30. If I would take a lunch before, but since I don't, it's around 3:30. If there's a third bundle, it's easily 4 o'clock, easily, because my route is kind of overburdened. Then when I finish my route, I usually come back, and my extra is waiting for me. That's another thing. They'll usually come around and tell you in the morning what your extra is. Like my 204B usually come around and be like, hey Nick, you got 3 hours on 17, or you got 2.5 hours on 55, or whatever it is. My 204B usually come around and tell us our extra, and I don't take that. It always changes. For a lot of the times, I like to know what I have, but I know things can change in an instant. Someone cannot show up. Someone could just walk out. Like, anything could happen. So if they tell me I got 2 hours on 17, that could turn to 3 hours. You just never know until you pick up your piece. Some people call it extra. Some people call it aux for auxiliary. Not like the animal. I know some people type that. It's short for auxiliary. Some people call it split, whatever. I just call it my overtime. So it just depends on how many people show up. If we have a good day, I may only be doing an hour or two of extra. I've had less than 3. I probably had like 3 or less days where I had an 8-hour day. I think it was like 2 or 3 times I had an 8-hour day. So always have extra. Always count on having extra. Come back, I load up my truck again. Usually my extra is set up by one of the faster casers. A lot of people will either double case. We have a caser who's pretty good. She could double, triple case and still get done with the route in 8 hours. She's insanely efficient. But usually another carrier will set up your extra for you, so that's kind of nice. You don't have to worry about casing when you pick up your extra. You get your extra, it's all set up for you. You just load your truck and then carry it. Then after that, you might get sent out again. Our office likes us to be done at 8 o'clock. My office is like, be back by 8 o'clock for the most part. I mean, for the past week or two, some carriers have gotten done at 9, but for the most part, if they want us back by 8. So if it's still 7 o'clock and you come back, they're probably going to send you back out to go help somebody, because usually somebody's struggling. So But yeah, it all just depends on the office. It depends on how many people show up. It depends on who's on restrictions, who can't do what. Some people can't only do a certain amount of walking and things like that. So, but that's usually my typical day. I come in, case in my mail, load my truck, do my route, come back, pick up my extra, knock that out, and then when I get back, see if anybody else needs help. We're all a team. I've needed help before. I've helped out people many times. It's a team effort. We're all in this to make money and then go home. So, I don't mind helping people out. I've had people help me out. So, but at the end of the day, we try to get all this mail delivered. Delaying mail is very serious. So they try to not let that happen. So, but yeah, that's my typical day. It's hard when you first start, but then once you get in a routine and once you start learning the routes, it gets a lot easier. Trust me. The weather adds a variable to it. Make sure you check the weather every day. I check my weather app every day. If I know it's going to be over 80 degrees, which it has been, it's been like 100 degrees recently, I'm like, okay, now I got to wake up a little earlier to fill my water jug with ice water and make sure I'm prepared for that. I heard a few guys telling me that you guys have suffered heat stroke, fainting, things like that. You guys, make sure you are prepared. Make sure you're prepared. It's hot out there. The elements are rough in the summer. In the wintertime, really cold. Always prepare yourselves. So make sure you are prepared for the weather. Check that weather every day. Prepare yourself and stay safe out there. But yeah, that's my typical day. I like this job. I'm outside all day, and I like it. So thank you all for watching. If there's something you guys want to see, comment below. I'm on my way to the woods right now. Get a good workout in, and then be able to enjoy and relax on the rest of my day off. So thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.